I'd like to start off today with a basic review of 1 and 2 point architectural perspective. You probably covered it in your Drawing 1 class, but it's been a while and you may not have gone to it in depth, so I'm going to take a look at it today in relation to cubes and spheres specifically. When you're drawing a cube in 1 point perspective, the first thing you do is establish the horizon line. And you always use the horizon line in relation to the object. If you look straight out across the room, the horizon line is at your eye level. So most architectural or most 1 point perspective is really developed to describe things sitting on a flat picture plane while you're looking out straight. You're not looking up, you're not looking down, you're looking directly at the object. A couple of basic rules in 1 point perspective. If you look at the squares in front of you, the vertical lines, they stay vertical, they don't tip or tilt in any way. The horizontal lines all stay horizontal, they don't tip or tilt in any way. What happens is that lines that move away from you become diagonal lines. Those depict the depth of space in a 1 point perspective drawing. Now, in order to make a drawing like this, you draw a horizon line, a center line, and then 3 squares equidistant from one another, one at the horizon line right in the middle, one above, one below. Then from the corners of those squares, you'll run lines directly to a single point at where the lines of the horizon line and that center line intersect. Where these lines intersect is referred to as your vanishing point. In 1 point perspective, there's a single point directly in front of you, the viewer. That's your viewpoint, and directly in front of you is the vanishing point. If you move to one side or the other, the vanishing point will move with you and stay directly in front of you. In 2 point perspective, there are 2 vanishing points, normally found on either side of the object, although in extreme situations where a 2 point perspective comes close to 1 point perspective, one vanishing point can be located in behind the object. Once you've drawn your cubes, you need to find the center of those planes in perspective. So it's not just a matter of measuring halfway, it's actually a little bit beyond halfway point. So to do that, what you do is you'll draw lines from corner to corner in each of those planes. Where they intersect in the middle, as you can see, that becomes the center of that plane. Establishing the center of that plane is important because when we draw the sphere, it has a north and south pole that runs right through that particular spot. We just see the x's that create those planes, but the angle of those changes as it goes further above the horizon line and down below the horizon line. When you draw the circles within that cube of space, then you can see how that sphere fits. And in the lower ones, you can see that you are seeing the top of that sphere where the X comes across, and the bottom of the sphere, the south pole, so to speak, is hidden behind the overlap of that edge. As we go up to the top, the reverse happens. We're seeing the bottom of that particular sphere, and the top pole is hidden behind the overlap. This is important just in terms of understanding the angle in relation to your viewpoint. Are you looking up or are you looking down? It's a little easier to see this when we add some color. You can sort of see the overall mass of the sphere this way. Here's a drawing based on the principles that we discussed. I want you to take special notice of the center line because in all 3 spheres it becomes a perfect vertical line. The foreshortening occurs front to back so we don't see the curve. It's only when we move away from the center that we start seeing the arc of that line. The further away we move from the center, the more severe that arc becomes until it matches the outside shape of the sphere. Also notice that the center line in the middle sphere is a straight line across, but when we go to the upper or lower version of that, it becomes an arc. So keep in mind that it's only dead center at eye level where that line is going to flatten out. As soon as you move up or down, it becomes an arced line. So for your assignment, I want you to draw 3 spheres in perspective, just like you're seeing in front of you. Make sure you have a center line and a horizon line in that drawing. You want to break the spheres down into a nice grid like you're seeing in front of you, as precise and as crisp and clean as humanly possible. Use this drawing as a chance to kind of get back into it a little bit, but really go for precision with this. Now I want you to note the drawing that you're looking at in the diagram is a little bit rough. That's because it's a demonstration diagram. Your job is to make one as crisp and clean as you possibly can.